going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday to you all, or whatever day you're tuning in to listen to us. I'm your host, Nick, joined by my producer, KRISSY. KRISSY, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I've like been super happy lately.
I'm so happy for you.
No, I know.
Still getting that Montana sex?
Yeah, I'm going back.
We have such a fun episode for you today. Esther Povitsky, the very hilarious, funny, very talented comedian, actress, whatever
people know her as Little Esther,
calling it these days, is our guest. She's doing great things. She's got a new special on ComedyCentral.com. Is it CC.com?
Yeah, CC.com. She's got Dollface on Hulu.
She's doing great things. She graced us with her presence, and we just kind of had a very fun topical conversation about dating topics, and we just kind of rambled and had some fun and gave some thoughts and our expert opinions on things. Expert opinions.
If I'm going to look for an expert, I'm calling the two of you first.
We give some very detailed opinions about people who've never gotten their heart broken. Only I do. I don't know. Esther's great. I had a ton of fun with her. I think you will really enjoy this. Anything else we need to cover before we get to the gold?
No.
Don't forget to subscribe. Send us your 5-star reviews. It's all we really care about. And
care about other things.
I don't care about 1-star reviews.
Well, okay, fair statement.
Not interested in them. But I do appreciate you guys obviously listening. Go check out our Monday Ask Nick episodes, obviously, where we save lives, hear about relationships, and have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
Without further ado, Esther.
Nick, who are you? What's going on? You're like a hot guy with an essential oil business. What is this? What year is it? How did I get
It's 2020.
And yes, he's all those things.
It is one of my business. My sister, who's a holistic nutritionist, got me into it.
Okay, that makes sense. Because it just seems like the most craziest thing. But I love essential oils.
You
so
do?
Yes, of course. I have, because we can get, this is boring, who cares, but I'm like afraid of artificial fragrance. So the only excitement I have in life is essential oils. But just you and essential oils are like, it doesn't make sense, but I want it to make sense by the end of today.
It doesn't have, well, here's why. It's real simple. One, my sister, the holistic nutritionist, certified. Maria,
you have 11 siblings?
10.
What?
10.
And you seem like your mom just loves you.
My mom really loves me.
What is that like?
That my mom...
What is that?
That your mom... Yes. Well, if you're not familiar, I watched Esther's stand-up special. It's quite good. You need to check it out. Hot for my name.
That's right.
I really liked... There was a good line about
you.
the flip of the first and last name. But yes, my mom loves me. And you seem to have a complicated relationship with your parents.
I do. I'm just kind of like whatever to them. I'm not all that. You seem like you love your mom. Your mom loves you.
It's a very healthy.
And you have 10 siblings. Like, do you have a favorite? Like, how do you even divide?
Siblings-wise?
Yeah, that's so many siblings. Like, how do you even know them all? It's like I had so many more people than I know.
I know all their birthdays. I don't know their ages. I'm confident on their first names.
Do you like them all? Like, do you have favorites?
I love them all.
Oh, wow. Oh my God.
I like most of them. Right. That's how I feel. Like I love them all. I would do anything for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Some I really enjoy spending time with. Some are fine.
And are you in the middle, like age-wise?
I'm the second oldest. I'm the oldest boy.
Oh.
I'm also like an only child.
Why?
I'm the only child. I've always been very self-sufficient. And like,
only children I don't think of as self-sufficient.
Okay, maybe that's...
I think of as selfish.
Well, are you an only child?
I'm a half only child. I have a half older sister from my mom's first marriage. So she was around. I'm my dad's only child, which I think like really that's a thing.
That's defined you.
Yes.
In the nicest possible way, I've only cared about myself when I was a kid. I just like... The difference between me and my sisters around me, because I have an older sister and 2 younger sisters.
Do you have brothers?
Yeah, but they were like 7 years. My closest brother, my mom's.
Oh my God.
Not my sister Maria, who I'm closest with, is my dad's favorite.
The son who is the favorite of the mom is just the worst. You're the worst. Because you get it all your way all the time.
You talked about your boyfriend and your stand-up who like you don't know where his confidence comes from.
Yes.
Is he close with his mom?
Yes.
Yeah.
She loves him so much. It makes me sick.
Yeah. Like I've always just been confident. I don't, and I'm pretty sure it just comes from my mom just being like, you're the best.
How would it
I'm like,
not?
you know what? I am. Yeah. I really, thanks.
See, we all are blaming men for like being overly it's the mom that does it to you. If I have a child and I have a boy, I'm just going to be like, you suck. You suck. You're the worst. I'm going to make...
So on your stand-up special, people need to go watch it, but I thought was really interesting, and I'm curious if you did this on purpose. It opens up in a very clever way of you kind of talking about this kind of trope or whatever about like, if you're a comedian, you have to come from this dysfunctional childhood, right? Yeah. And you have to have these... And you're saying this to your parents. So right off the bat, you're like, does she have a great childhood? And it's just like ironic. And then it cuts into like you being pretty honest with your parents about your feelings towards them. And then I'm just like, wow, Esther's parents suck. But then it turns a little bit halfway through. There's like a reveal of her parents being like, I'm in love with you, audience. Like, Esther sucks. Yeah. We tried our best. And you leave the show amidst many laughs being like, who's right?
Is Esther a liar and her parents are right?
You're like yeah.
And for a minute, you're like, she's just been messing with these poor people who treated her so great her entire life, and she's just fucking with them the entire time.
Your mom's like, so I cried myself to sleep trying to parent you.
You're like in the backseat of the car, and your dad's like, that didn't happen.
I know, my parents was like, get me out of the car. Wow. I have not gotten like this good feedback. Like, I feel like you guys got it. Like, this is making me so happy because I didn't know there was this journey on there where you kind of trust me and then you don't trust me anymore. I love hearing this.
Then there's the breastfeeding incident.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, point for Esther.
It's true. I was breastfed till 2.5, 3.5. I don't remember, but I was breastfed so long.
Oh my God. So you had teeth?
Yeah.
That's like
I remember it. It's not a joke. I mean, it is a joke, but I remember it. I remember breastfeeding.
To each their own.
Yes, that's right. I will let my stand-up special tell you more about that because I don't need to get into it.
Feel about your parents?
They're my best friends. People always see our relationship and they're like, "Oh, you have it. It's so good." But I'm like, I work for that. Like, it's not like if you've seen the special, you get it. They think I'm nothing. They don't care. They're like, whatever.
They're unamused.
By you. Yes. And I love them because they're so funny together. Their dynamic is just so funny that whenever I'm with them, I'm laughing at them. So I'm like, I'm all in. I always want to be there and be part of that.
So you have a lot of fun with your parents.
I do. Yeah. But I also like that they don't think I'm that exciting. Like, I kind of have to work for it all the time. So, but your parents love you.
Love me.
Wow. Both.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Equally. I mean, I truly #blessed with the love. But I will say, like, my parents are always... My parents could tell me when I was being an asshole. My parents, one of the best things my parents ever did. I wasn't coddled and spoiled that way. I always felt love from my parents, especially mom. But like, I was always in sports, and so they had no problem with like letting other people yell at me as well. It wasn't like, don't yell at my kid. Like, I had very difficult and challenging coaches, which my parents liked. You know, where it wasn't, you
weren't like overly protected from the world.
At all.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So that balanced it out.
It seems like that's the difference between you being normal and you having taken a turn
being a monster.
Like, to being Norman Bates.
Yeah.
So I think they did it right.
Yeah.
But you were almost Norman Bates, that's why I think you're cool.
I'm on like like there's
some of that still there, maybe.
there's definitely a couple like moments in my life. I'm like, it could have taken a turn.
Yeah.
Too much love.
Yeah.
And televised rejection.
One of my favorite memories as a child was hearing my parents and their siblings tell stories about their childhood. It's something that we always look forward to on holidays and get-togethers. And now you can cement them on paper forever and pass them on with Storyworth. I gave this to my dad for a gift. He loved it. And what they is they prompt you give this as a gift, and then it comes with like prompts to ask specific questions.
They mail you like questions.
They mail you questions, and then these family members or people tell their stories, and then they put in and make a book for you. It's just a great It's just a great thing to have to preserve memories, dig deep with people, really find out their past.
Or a way to connect why people can't be together.
It's amazing what we hear about our parents' childhoods. Like sometimes we forget our parents were people. You know, they were human beings who made mistakes and all those things. And as adults, it's fun to hear about those things. Yeah. And Storyworth helps you kind of put that into a nice capsule and have it for the family. For maybe you give it to your grandparents and then you give it to your kids. It's an amazing thing. My dad loved it. So connect with family and discover untold stories with Storyworth. Get started right away without the need for shipping by going to storyworth.com/VIALL. You'll get $10 off your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/VIALL for $10 off. Hey, gyms are still closed, people, and doing the same thing over and over not only is boring, but you get a lower return on investment. Like if you run every day or you do bicycling. Cross rope. I've been jumping rope like crazy since I've been using jump rope, and I mix it up. I throw it in a couple times a week. It's an amazing workout. It's fun. They have this amazing app with all different types of exercises and ways to use their cross ropes. They have weighted ropes, so you get some physical resistance, so you get some cardio. There's a lot of things you can do, and it's much different. It mixes it up.
Yeah, makes it fun for you.
I love it. Interchangeable ropes built for all experience levels, highly durable. And they are very durable and they look great. And when you get really good at jumping rope, you just look cool. I don't know if you know this, but you do. Adjustable weight ropes add full body strength training to high intensity cardio. Get your heart rate up while you work out your core, back, shoulders, arms, glutes, and more. No fluff, just fun, effective workouts anyone can do. Right now, you can get $40 off the Get Fit bundle plus free shipping at crossrope.com/VIALL. That's crossrope.com/VIALL. They even offer a 60-day risk-free money-back guarantee. You are someone who, like myself, I feel like likes to have strong opinions about anything.
Yeah, you got to.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I just, whatever it is, you need to feel strongly about it.
I like to be very specific about everything. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I think that just comes though from who you are. I don't know if that's like your upbringing or whatever. I don't know. You got to have a take.
Do you think it's upbringing or your personality?
That's all the same thing. I don't know.
Nature and nurture kind of thing?
This isn't a science show. I don't fucking know. I'm not going to try to answer nature versus nurture for you. That I don't have a take on.
Okay. How are you similar to your half sibling?
We're the opposites. We're so different, but we do connect strongly on like talking shit about our parents. Like she's the only other person who's like experienced it with me. So we have a strong bond there.
So there's definitely something your parents do. It's not just because your parents' argument is you're an attention whore.
Yeah, they're wrong. I mean, yes, that's true, but that's their fault. No, and together they're this toxic combination. Like they make no sense together. They're such different people. But no, everyone they've raised has eating issues. My sister, me, we're all like obsessed with food and afraid of it. Even their dog is obese. They have an obese dog who worships the bag of food, and you can't go to the basement because this dog is just guarding the dog food. And now no one can like get to the laundry because he'll attack your feet. Like they cause psychological problems on everyone in their path. It's not, I swear it's not me. It's them. I stand by my side.
Okay, that's why we had you on to solve this dilemma. are you down for having, since we like to go into topics, just talking about random topics,
Sure.
given our topical show that we have?
Yeah.
We'll just run down the list and see where it goes.
Okay.
First topic. Men who don't reciprocate.
What does that even mean?
Like men who expect you to go down on them, but won't go down on you.
Could be sexual, obviously.
Could
I
be
think that's
sexual.
what we certainly intended, but
Okay.
it could be other aspects.
Like what? Making the bed? Because that's not happening either.
This concept is so foreign to me. I didn't even know what it meant. Okay. Because in my relationship, like you have to do so much before I'll even do so little that like it will never be an issue. That's never happening. That's like so out of the question. I used to have girlfriends who like would tell me that they would have a guy go down on them and then they would just have the guy leave. And I was like, oh yeah, that's goals. Like that's what you need. Men, look, you're a man. You need to be told what to do. No one can just like expect you to do what they want. Like you need to kind of show guys and so if you expect a guy to reciprocate, that's crazy. They need to do it first.
What do you mean? It's crazy to expect a guy.
She's saying don't reciprocate until he does it first.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
What is your take?
Well, my take is reciprocity is extraordinarily important in relationships. This is one of those hard conversations because as a guy, it's like he's lying, in a sense of like, it's like someone asking you about your dick size. You can't win, right? If you say it's like huge, you're like, of course he's gonna say that. If you say it's small, you're being like, maybe he's, you can't not sound like a douchebag for a guy talking about. So, and as a guy, if you're just like, well, I do this, you're just like, are you trying to say the right thing? But I think it's important to reciprocate. I find it shocking that. To hear women yesterday on one of our Ask Nick podcasts, a girl said that she's dated more than one guy who has no problem getting head, but says he's saving it going down on a girl for marriage. They're fucking, he's getting head. He's saving that for his wife.
I gotta meet this guy.
Right?
Can we get lunch? I want to get lunch with you. I gotta talk to this guy. That is fucking a master manipulator, psychopath. I gotta sit down.
Like the balls.
I want business advice from this man. Oh my God. Okay. I feel like I'm translating your thing. What you're trying to say is you're like, look, I'm a hot, famous guy. Like girls like me and they I get it.
That's exactly what he said.
I just think like, I don't know. I think you have to set your own rules, right? Like, you have to set like just don't allow that. I don't know. It's confusing. It's complicated. Then I have these guy friends that are like, yeah, these girls, they just want to go down on me all day. And I'm like, I don't get it, but that's a thing. Like, good for you. But you just have to like assert your needs as all humans have to do.
Yeah. Why do you think so many women don't feel are afraid to ask for reciprocity or
the culture?
Porn?
Yeah, it's just the way that's just a thing that I'm not going to be able to solve today.
I do.
Tomorrow, call me.
How do you feel about dating apps?
I've never done them. I don't know. Are you on them?
I have been on them before.
It seems really hard for me because I don't like the vulnerability that you have to. I love vulnerability, but it's like a weird kind of. I don't like a man who I know wants me, like, and I don't think maybe not me, but I just, when I see a guy in a dating app, I'm like, oh, so they're like lonely is what I think. Whereas it's like, oh, so you're lonely. Like, I don't.
Even if you're on it. Well, you've never been on it.
No.
The idea already.
It's hard for me. And I don't know, like, when my fiance eventually dumps me for saying something stupid about him on a podcast, I don't know what I would do. I don't know how dating apps would work for me. It's such a weird, because I like to chase. So I don't want a guy that, like, is open to me. Like, I want to, like.
So your perfect dating app bio with a guy who just writes, I hate you.
Yeah, no, yeah. Or
And you see it, you're like, he's talking about me. I hate him. I have to convince him to like me.
it's hard. I don't know. I don't like a guy that's like on the hunt. That's always kind of been speaking of like specific takes earlier, like I never want to, I know there's all that advice, like let him chase you. I'm not into that. I don't want to be chased because a guy who's hunting and chasing you, once he catches you, he's going to like try and hunt and chase somebody else. So I'm not about that. Like I like to see a guy and be like, okay, I'm going to fucking chase his ass and hunt him, because then I know he's not a hunter and I don't need to worry about him going out and hunting. Like I'm the hunter. Is that, you seem confused.
Actually makes a lot of
No,
sense.
I'm not confused at all. What I'm trying to do is, figure out what that means about you.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have and I'm also not a doctor, so my opinion doesn't matter. But, yeah, you chase them. Do you feel like because when you, as a guy, is it a sense of accomplishment whenever you've been able to land said?
Are you asking,
target?
did you say as a guy referring to me?
No.
As a guy.
Yeah, I guess that's how it sounded. But I'm saying, like, as guys, they do that, right? The sense of like chase, accomplishment.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're getting the same?
Not really. I mean, a little bit, but I think it's different just because I'm not a guy, and so I'm not like biologically created to like fuck as many people as possible. Like that's not my thing. That's guys' thing.
Not all guys.
So I'm like, okay, I got him, and now it's like, from the biological standpoint, like now you provide for me and I'll give you a baby. But I'm not doing that. But we have a dog. But my question for you though is, because you were on a show where all these women were after you, I feel like, doesn't that fuck you up? Aren't you like? I feel like that would mess me up.
In general?
Like almost in the relationship and dating world, because you're like, all these women wanted me. Like, doesn't that make you think women are just weird now?
Well, I think the show has certainly had an effect on me.
Yeah.
Working on it.
I mean,
with
you
my
have an
therapist.
essential oil company now.
Yeah. But as far as like being the Bachelor and having women go on.
Yeah.
No, that specific thing, because didn't fuck me up, because there's also the element of like I wasn't like delusional to think like they're truly all obsessed with me.
You're like, this is a show. This is.
It was just like, I'm sure, like I was confident in myself and that if there was a connection, they would like me, but it wasn't like these people. And quite honestly, that would have turned me off if I would have thought like 30 people who were unobjectively obsessed with me. Like
totally.
I wouldn't. In that sense, I, as a guy maybe who likes to chase, I like to chase.
You do.
I like to chase, but I don't find anything unattractive about a girl reaching out to me or pursuing me or being confident at all. Like I very much like opinionated people and women. And so that's never been a turnoff for me.
Right.
But
so
yeah.
for you, when you say you like the chase could also just be like someone has pursued you and the chase is almost like getting to know each other. And
sure.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't like the chase so much in the kind of traditional sense. Like I have to feel like I've chased you. But as a guy, sure, you like the chase, I guess. I mean, I'm a competitive guy. For example, yesterday, interesting kind of I don't really talk about my personal. That's affected me. Sorry,
What?
I don't like talking about my dating life out. I've been very private for someone who's been on the show 4 times.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Ever talk about my dating life.
That's a good boundary for you to have, probably.
Yeah, it's one of those things I struggle with because I feel like I have to make this choice between, because I haven't like settled down in a traditional sense, and I've dated, and there's, things I've gotten out about people I've dated, especially if someone is in the public eye.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm stuck between this choice of like being perceived as a whore, because like if I date someone for 3 months and like I don't show them on my social, or because then it's like over the course of a year, maybe I've dated 4 or 5 people, right?
Yeah.
Or just notoriously single. I've chosen the notoriously single because I just never talk about people I'm dating or going on dates with.
I see.
So it just comes across as I've been utterly alone for the better part of how long?
That's correct.
Right.
Utterly alone. Sad.
You know what my favorite protein is? Collagen protein. Collagen is the single most abundant protein in your body. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Now you do. It holds everything together. We don't want to fall apart. Your bones, muscles, tendons, your hair, your skin, your nails, and even your GI tract. It's the protein I use. And when you mix Bub's protein, it mixes easily.
That's
you
good.
don't have to like go through this whole mission of shaking, stirring, blending to make sure it's not grainy. It's not at all. It tastes great. Whole30 approved, NSF certified for sport, keto, and paleo friendly and non-GMO free. No flavors, fillers, or impurities. Nothing more or less than the best collagen out there. And 10% of every Bub's natural sale goes to charity. So you'll feel great while doing great things.
So it has so many more benefits than just regular protein powder.
That's right. And you can get your gains in still with all those added benefits. So get 20% off your first order when you use promo code VIALL at bubsnaturals.com. That's 20% off with promo code VIALL at bubsnaturals.com. Do you love music? Yeah, everyone loves music. That's like saying, do you love oxygen? So if you love it, and you do, obviously, you'll love streaming it on Amazon Music. I know I do. I got my Amazon Alexas throughout my house. I'm like, whatever I say, Alexa, play this. Alexa, play that. Never, seriously, never has Alexa been like, sorry, we don't have it. They're like, great, here we go.
That's so fun.
I couldn't. Like, can you imagine like 10 years ago having doing that? Like, we take that for granted. Amazon Music has it all. It's at the tip of your fingerprints. And so if you want to have that sexy playlist, boom, Alexa's got it.
Because you can create your own playlist so easily on it.
You're doing house chores, Alexa's got it. So when you subscribe to Amazon Music Unlimited like I do, you get even more unlimited access to 60 million songs on demand and always ad free. So you can play the songs you want when you want them. Amazon Music has millions of songs and thousands of podcasts streaming for free. You can follow podcasts you love like mine, download them to listen offline, or just ask Alexa to start listening. You're going to love Amazon Music Unlimited. Right now, new subscribers can try Amazon Music Unlimited free for 30 days. Go to amazon.com/VIALL. That's amazon.com/VIALL to try Amazon Music Unlimited free for 30 days. Amazon.com/VIALL. Renews automatically, cancels anytime. Offer ends 9/26. Terms apply. Truly, you're going to love it. I do. I've been using it for years. Friend zone.
What is that?
Do you say that about every question? Have you ever been in the friend zone? Have you friend zone guys? You're engaged.
Yeah.
Do you have guy friends?
I have a million guy friends. Yeah.
Do you have guy friends that you've had sex with before?
No.
Okay. These are things people find themselves in.
Yeah.
I don't understand the concept of friend zoning. I think it's kind of a weird, like almost sexist idea and concept that guys made up where they're like, oh, she won't fuck you. You're in the friend zone. How about we're just friends? How about you're just my friend and we were never going to have sex and I don't like you that way. You don't like me that way. But I feel like I have great guy friends who they're not interested in me at all. And we all make it very clear. And I think that's kind of has to be the approach. Some guy that like is being your friend because he wants more, that's fucking creepy, man. Let me know out the gate you're attracted to me. I know what this is, that's creepy. What is this, like get in as the friend and then we'll fall in love? That's so fucking weird. No.
Don't think women do it too?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah, and that would suck actually. And in fact, I think
men do it more.
I've always been very conscious of that, and I never want to do that to a guy. I never want to creep a guy out. I know that that's fully in I'm capable of creeping a guy out. I don't want to do that. So I would never want to betray the friendship and then be like, oh, well, now I like you. And now I'm going to be this creep who we can't keep talking because I've developed feelings for you. Like, that's my problem. That's not the other person's problem.
Do you think you've never done that because do you think you're a confident person?
Yeah, in ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know you that well, but you seem like you have no problem being assertive at the appropriate moment.
Yes.
So in that sense, if you liked a guy in being the chaser that you are, you'll just let him know. I think people do it because they're afraid.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just like, oh, they want to hang out with me and I'm just too afraid to go there. So yeah, let's be friends.
Well, I think that there's a difference between a couple hangouts where you're kind of feeling the vibe out and like pursuing like having a real friendship for months or maybe even years. Because you're right. I do think actually, I know this maybe seems contradictory, but hopefully you understand. It's like the best way to get to know someone if you're going to maybe be in a relationship with them is to just treat it as a friendship for like a couple dates. I mean, like this is a date, but I'm treating you as though that's just always been my, that's helped me stay calm when I like someone.
Yeah.
Is to be like, it's like if I liked you, I wouldn't like put on some kind of weird like show. I would just be like, okay, I'm going to talk to him as a friend and see how that goes. But it wouldn't be like a long developed friendship. It would be like, we would know.
That makes a lot of sense. I like that. You take the, it's like, yeah, you don't dress up more than you would to meet a friend. Sure, you like look nice.
Yeah.
But like if you wore jeans and t-shirts out, I like that too. I find it weird if on a first date someone looks like they went a little extra.
Yeah. And also the acting a little extra. Like they're like everything, they're so cute and perfect. Like that's not attractive to me and I don't want to do that. But yeah, the friend zone thing is tough. Like, again, I know I said I want to pursue, and I think for me, I know right away, like how am I going about this? And so, but it is, you know what? There is totally situations where I'm sure you get to know someone as a friend and then you guys develop feelings. I've genuinely never had that happen, but I can see how that's like a common thing.
I think it only happens when one of the people in this friendship has always been lying to themselves and the friend. Like
Yes.
it was never really there.
Thank you. I like that.
There's exceptions to every rule. You know, every time I say something like that, everyone's like, well, that's not how I meant. I have been able to have friends who are women who I've had sex with. And that
I hate this so much. I hate this.
Let me explain.
I hate it.
Here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. In both cases, we met in a dating situation.
Uh-huh.
The objective for both of us is to potentially date. Mm-hmm. And then we went on a couple dates and then we had some sex. And we enjoyed each other's company. And for whatever reason, probably because I'm like, don't show affection and like, I'm really guarded. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't really know.
You fucking suck.
And then it just kind of ended.
Yeah.
For no.
You mean you ghosted them?
No. We just kind of I don't ghost. We just kind of stopped hanging out. Mm-hmm. And in both cases, time went by. This happened with 3 people, not 2, 3 people. And then we reconnected somehow. Either like we bumped into each other at a party, or one of them reached out, just like, hey, and acknowledged like, it wasn't going to work out, but you're cool. So like, let's hang.
Okay.
And then we just became friends and quickly like, so the sex is off the table. Mm-hmm. We've got that out of the way. I
feel like I'm in a 90s sitcom. Look, sex is off the table. Yeah. I like, and then I've never heard anyone say that to me.
We've never said that. We just knew like we've already had sex. And so like, there's no like awkward, I mean like.
I want to be in a sitcom with you right now where you just are like, Esther, sex is off the table.
We've already done it. And then like, she's talking to me about guys. I'm talking to her about girls, and we're just straight up friends. And
but aren't you ever like, we're going to get hammered one night and then we're going to end up doing it again?
No. And I've gotten drunk with these people and gone out, and like, there's no, and that's the thing. It's not like, well, we've had sex, we don't hook up, but like they've spent the night. No, it's friends. It's straight up friends. Like they've never, there's no line ever crossed. And I've been able to be friends with these people, and there's no weird feelings. There's no weird, nothing.
Maybe. Yeah.
And it was because we had sex.
Okay.
Maybe
right.
It was bad sex. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't have complaints. Maybe they do. But again,
They're like, woo, missed that one. Thank God
And
he
these
doesn't
si-
want to have any more
and
sex.
I love, by the way, come to me with your worst sex. I'll fix you. Like, there's no, I don't have bad sex. It's on, I will fix it.
what do you mean by that?
Like, if a guy is doing something wrong, I'm like, no, we're figuring this out right now. Okay.
You're a communicator.
Yes.
Again, you're the person who has no problem at the appropriate moment speaking. I think that's great. I've always said half the battle is just giving a shit and wanting to be good.
Yeah.
Right? Like, especially for guys, you hear a lot of stories who guys just assume I have a dick, therefore I'm awesome at sex. And that's not a good thing.
No.
Yeah,
And
like the
any guy who's
other
just
one,
like, any guy, like you said, it's like, I've told this story, you know, one of the best things that ever happened to me is in high school, a friend of a girl I was dating pulled me aside at gym class and said, stop doing what you're doing. Here's how you do it. And I was like, oh.
Wait, I learned how to have sex
Great.
in high school too. I swear.
It wasn't even sex. It was like,
What?
we were just like making out and basically like just cranking on each other's privates for 45 minutes.
Thinking.
You know,
What does that
how
mean?
when you gave hand jobs
Heavy.
in high school, like your guys are just like, oh my God, this sucks. And you think it's cool, but it's not because she's like, doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
And guys do the same thing where they're out there just jackhammering with their hands and like, she fucking loves this. And she's too afraid to say something. Meanwhile, the next day you're just like, my fuck can't move my hand. Cause like you're doing it for 45 minutes. You're like, when do we stop doing? You know, like no one's making each other come. So
jamming
you
them.
just keep going. And meanwhile, you think you're awesome. And I'll never forget, she pulled me aside and she's like,
Don't do that.
don't do that. And I was like,
hurting
oh.
me.
And she did it in a very nice way.
That's cool.
And she just told me what to do. And it, again, changed my life because it just taught me that, like, you just have to ask.
Yeah.
People are different. You have to care. And everyone's different.
I'm a bad kisser. I'm famously a bad kisser. My fiance always tells me this. He's like, the first time you kissed me, you were too excited. You shoved your tongue down my throat. You kissed like you're in middle school. And I like that. Like I'm committing to that bad kissing style.
How
Like,
does he kiss? So he's not the only one. It's not.
No, I'm a terrible kisser. Everyone tells me it. It's like you're too excited. I get too excited to kiss.
I mean, it's hard for me
Like a
to.
cocker spaniel.
Only dogs know how to kiss me.
I'm trying to figure out how I get. Is there one of your in a movie or show that you're doing where you're making out where I can see this?
No, but it's just you're really excited and you will give a lot of tongue. I think it's hot.
I can see how that could be a
Well,
problem.
like lizard tongue is not hot.
What's lizard tongue?
Like when
I
it
don't know.
goes really, 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 really
No,
fast.
no, no.
I can
Like,
deal. I can deal with a lot of tongue. What I can't deal with is just the open mouth, no movement.
100%.
Where you have to do all the work.
It's like what?
No,
What?
it's like the open mouth, like the tongue movement. No, it's boring. That's the worst.
I don't know what to do. I
Yeah.
don't like. It just
Instead of
kind
doing
of
that, like-
half open. To me is the only way you're a bad kisser.
Yeah.
Oh, if you do nothing.
Do nothing.
See,
nothing.
if I
just,
have
like-
someone who's doing nothing, I'm like, I know what to do with that. I'll do it all. But wait, I want to go back to high school teenage girl sex advice because I learned how to have sex in high school too. And I got the best advice from like the pretty popular girl. Like I just was like, let's have a lunch meeting. I treated high school.
Did you schedule the meeting?
Yeah. High school sex for me was like how I treat like business now. I'm like, let's sit down, let's do lunch, tell me what to do. And she was like, you just do what feels good for you. And that's what guys like. And I was like, oh, perfect. Cause you don't know how to, you just go in and do what you want. And I'm like, oh, that's good advice. And I just want to share that with all the listeners. Just do what you want.
I think that's great. But what do you mean specifically?
There's no specifics. You have to interpret. It's to the user's interpretation.
Do what you want.
Just go in and do what you want and get out.
And if a guy's not good at something, you agree that you should just tell him.
Yeah. Don't.
How would you go about it? Are you afraid of hurting guys' ego?
No, because I have this like full face and I'm like, look like I'm somehow 11 years old and also 73. Like nobody's going to get hurt, their feelings hurt by me. I'm not gonna, I'm not the gorgeous figured lady that's going to let them down. No, I'm just gonna be like, all right, let's figure this out together. It's okay. I'm on your side. I'm here to help. We're on the same team. We both want this to be good. let's do it.
And have you ever had a guy get defensive?
No, guys want to know.
Okay, that's good to hear because I hear a lot of stories where it's the opposite, and I'm just like, I don't think.
By the way, if you poll, and this could go for girls too, people just want to know that you like them. If you tap a girl on this guy on the shoulder, just pull them like, hey, I like you. There's nothing hotter than being told that you like someone likes you, whatever. I like you. Let's just like make some adjustments here, okay? Like, I think it would be scary if someone was like, you're doing that wrong. You know, you just have to be like, I like you. Like, come on.
It's a great way to do it. But some people will say things like, well, why do you do that?
Well, then
I know.
You can't.
It's all about your delivery.
And you also, I don't think it's cool to shame someone for what they're into. Not that I've like been through things that are crazy, but like I think you kind of have to just understand that if someone likes that, they like that, and you don't want to.
So with friends with benefits, do you think are equally as disruptive? I don't really get the friends with benefits either.
Yeah, it's like the same thing. Someone's playing someone. There's like maybe there's this world where there's these hyper attractive people out there who are hyper confident and they can just have sex with people and it means nothing because there's so many other people out there that want to have sex with them. So it's not a big deal. Maybe that I'm totally open to the fact that exists. It's not my experience. I'm not on that wavelength on that planet, but I know there are people on a different planet than me. Like, I know that super hot girls, their experience in life is way different than mine.
What do you mean?
I mean, I had this roommate when I first moved to LA. I always had like revolving roommates, and I had one. She's this beautiful blonde girl. She's an actress, and she just moved in with me, and we're like, let's go out. Like, let's have fun. We went to a bar in Santa Monica, something I'd never done. And we walk in the bar and immediately like 7 guys walk up to her and ask her like, okay, buy you a drink. And I was like, what is happening? I was like, I thought that only happened in movies. Like, that's a real thing. And that's when I learned like, oh, like attractive people they're living a different life. Yes. I accept it. I'm fine with it. I like my spot. I've gotten cozy where I am. I'm like, okay, that's your world. That's like
my world is also like, which I'm sure you'll agree. My world is also like, hey, how are you? So tell me about your friend.
Which is fine. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. Like we're telling you like you have like this superpower. No, I think you guys have your own problems. I'm very comfortable where I am. You guys come with issues like fucking these friends with benefits situations. You have these crazy games. It's a thing.
Well, I don't think the friends with benefits. I think friends with benefits is just a different term for friend zone. Well, it's a different type of friend zone.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like, I want to fuck you, but I don't like you enough to go.
I'm bored and I'm too lazy to go look for sex. So
no, it's the I want to date you. You'll have sex with me, but you won't date me. And so we'll just keep playing this game. You're hooking up on a regular basis and you're playing house. Someone doesn't want to commit, but we're at least acknowledging there's a physical attraction. The straight friend zone is, I want to have sex with you and you don't even want to have sex with me, but I want to also date you. Does that make sense? In both situations, someone's lying. You know, it's like the friends with benefit is you still like someone wants to have more, the relationship.
Yeah, there's always
the friend zone. You want to have a relationship. You're just not having sex.
Yeah.
Hooking up is just like, we fuck once in a while. And there's like no commitment. You're not going to movies. You're not hanging out. You're not going to the whatever flea markets together. Right. You're just calling each other up late at night and like once in a while having sex. That's more of a hookup. That's not have friends with benefits. That's just like, I got a hookup friend.
To me, friends with benefits, I hear that and I think it's like, we're literally friends, but we just like go in the bedroom to just like, it's just about physical needs. I don't know. This is just like a child's brain's interpretation of it because I've never had that. So I don't know. What you said. It's what you said.
Are you a sex positive person?
What is that? I'm genuinely asking.
Well,
I think she is.
you like talking like sex is a positive thing. You don't
Yeah.
sex shame. You're
No,
not,
yeah, of course.
How do you feel about hooking up on the first date?
I was always that person, and I've learned that you shouldn't do that.
Why?
No, don't do that.
You shouldn't?
No, don't do that.
Why?
Because it's, I don't know. Like you know what? I'm pretty much third date, which is easy. That's like, that's too easy.
What's
Don't do that.
the difference between third and first date?
A callback.
Well, yeah, a callback. You know a little more. You also, it's usually a lot like for me in my relationship, as I kind of made it all happen. My friends call me like the master manipulator. They say that I have everything in my life planned out on my computer at home secretly. Like I'm this creep that's like planning it all, but that's only a little bit true. Because our first date was just coffee. Well, it was supposed to be my show, and then I got to my show and I didn't want to perform because I knew if it went bad that would ruin the vibe. So the first date was coffee, second date was dinner, third date was let's hang at your place. So I just don't think you can. I think it's a little too much to have a first date be out and then be like, let's go back home. I think that's too. You're like too much too soon just in terms of hanging out. Like, I think we should have our boundary. Like, let's go home separately. Okay. I don't know. Why? What's your?
I don't think there's a difference between the first, second, third, fourth.
You sound like we're on a date and you're like, look, the third date's the same. We might as well do it tonight.
We do it now.
But
in fact, it's after midnight. It's technically day 2. No, I want.
But if you hook up with a girl on the first date, what's your take on that?
I don't think I think what you do is totally fine. What I'm just saying, there's no difference between the first and third date. If you want to wait. If you're like, I would want to take it slow, I'm not saying that's wrong. That's great. And if you are saving it for marriage, great. If you want to wait a year, great. I just equate it to my movie analogy. People like certain movies a lot, they'll want to rewatch them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you watch a movie, it's fine. You don't need to see it again.
Is this sex?
Yeah. And sometimes you walk out of the movies, it's terrible. And sex is the same way. It is, especially early on. If the difference, like, if a guy has sex with you on the third date and likes having sex, he'll want to have sex with you again. If a guy has sex with you on the first date and likes having sex with you, he'll want to have sex again. It's just a matter
I
of
agree. It's the people.
them liking sex.
It's them liking you, and it's not like
the only thing about waiting, and that's why I think there's no difference between the first and third date. Because if you have sex that early, so much of the guy's decision to keep hanging out will be based on the sexual experience. If you wait 2 or 3 months and they really know who you are, there might be more of a balance in that. Like, they might be like, yeah, sex was good. And then maybe you teach each other and get familiar with each other. So I'm just saying there's not much of a difference between first and third. If you're going to have sex early. Like, I agree. Waiting to the third date is not going to somehow get him to like you more.
I agree. I think that's really good, honest feedback. Yeah. I agree. I always did it wrong because I was always if I liked someone, I was so excited to have sex with them. I needed to do it right away. And I've learned that that's not really the right healthy way.
I don't think there's a wrong or right way. And again, if you're a girl or a guy who wants to be like, I just want to have sex with this person, I'm not worried about if it's going to go anywhere. Maybe it will. Then I'm going to have sex.
What is bad sex though? Because how is a girl bad at sex?
It's not good or bad.
It's just a bad chemistry?
It's like watching a movie. I don't know.
Clunky.
Oh, no.
It's like
not even clunky. For me, it's just like, am I just really into this person?
Yeah.
Again, it's not bad sex. It's totally good. It's fine. I may not ever need to watch it again.
This is wild.
And if I see it on TV again, and like if I have to watch it again, I'll probably enjoy it.
Oh my God.
And there's some movies where I'm just like, oh God, such a good movie. I can't wait to see it again. Sometimes you're just like, oh God, how long is this movie on for? Like, is it over yet? Like I feel like women are the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm just taking it in. I'm just taking it in.
Filtering it.
I do feel like there's more variance. Men can get, I think for men, women can only get so much better. They're either into it or they're not. I think for men with women, men can really be terrible or great, just how much they give a shit, right?
Yeah.
I think with men,
You mean like their sensitivity? Like, what do you mean? Like how much they give a shit?
like what I'm saying is, if I'm attracted to a girl and there's chemistry, pheromones, physical attraction, whatever, I'm probably going to like having sex with her.
Yeah.
Unless she just shows up and does nothing or says weird things or
Baby
actually
talk.
baby
Your
talk,
favorite.
the daddy stuff. Like actually that was in your special.
Yeah, you don't like that.
You throw out a daddy once and like surprise me and you say it in a way, that's kind of hot. You say it over and over and over and over. All of a sudden I'm like, okay, I can't. This is fucking weird. Like you get in my head. Like, why? You know,
Why?
you anything once, you'll surprise me. I'm like, okay, that's a little nasty. Like, okay, good for you. But you say it multiple times, and I'm just gonna be like, wait, what?
You're like, there's a problem here.
There's anything too much of anything.
Yeah.
Don't repeat the same. Rule number one of talking dirty. I don't know how it is for women, but for men, just don't say anything over and over and over. If you don't know what to say nothing.
Yeah.
Sprinkle it in. Stop repeating yourself.
Speak from the heart.
Yeah.
I agree. Don't repeat yourself. Don't repeat yourself too much. Yeah. So I have a bit about this in my stand-up, but I'm like, because I'm in this committed relationship. So I'm like, we're in it. Like, let's just do it up. Like, let's just sample everything. So I was like, I'm gonna call you daddy, and he's like, no, he's not down with that. He's disgusted by it.
Yeah, and especially if a girl said, just a heads up, this is gonna happen, immediately no.
Turn off.
You know, like what I'm
So
saying
you
is
know.
like anything once, you're just like, okay, I'm a little caught off guard, but this seems wrong, and wrong's kind of hot. But like you say it one more time. But if you gave me a warning, I'm gonna try daddy on you. Fuck no.
So unattractive.
Fuck no. Baby talk is the fucking worst.
What is baby talk? Is just like
Whining, pampering,
yeah.
or literal baby talk. I've had that.
No. You haven't had like a girl be like goo goo gaga.
Not goo goo gaga, but I had a girl ask me to read her a story.
Oh my god. I
not
get
during
that.
sex.
I want that.
She's like,
I want that.
Can
you read me
I've had him read to me, not sexually, but I do baby talk, but it's not in a sexual context. It's like, I spilled, and then he's immediately like, stop, don't do that.
Yeah.
He hates it. He shuts it down.
No, any type of
Yeah.
I fucking hate it. There's nothing I hate more. I need, like, if you're sad, if you're real sadness and you cry, I'm totally fine with that.
But if you act like a child.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
If you're like, that does not work on me.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, I'm trying to be cute and get my way. Stop it right now, or I will leave you forever.
You should get lunch with my fiance. You guys are the same. Like, you guys will get, you're in the same vein.
Yeah,
he's disgusted by it.
It's so gross. I fucking hate it. But I've dated enough of women where it's just like, I just don't get why it must work on some guys.
Yeah. I guess it does. Yeah. I don't know. It's never worked for me, but I won't stop trying. I love to fail.
How are you with breakups?
Horrible. I've only ever been dumped. I've never broken up with someone.
And are you jealous of that?
Jealous of
I think you're winning in that department.
Why?
For a couple of reasons. Breaking up with someone's never fun.
Yeah.
And I also think I think being broken up with builds character.
It sure does. Yes. And that character is Izzy on Dollface. Season 1 is on Hulu. I agree. I also am all about feeling it. Like, I'm never that person that's going to pretend I'm okay. So when I get dumped, like, anyone in my peripheral vision is going to hear about it. And that sure surely cuts people out of my life. People are like, I'm done with this, but I need to get through it and I need help. And I reach out for help and the right people find me and will help me. But yeah, that sucks. Being dumped sucks, but it is also such a good, it's almost like you get this reset button that you can't get from anything else but being dumped, and you like start to work out more and you eat better and you're like work because you have to stay really busy to get your mind off of it. So I do think getting dumped is like a mini boot camp of like making your life a little better.
A huge red flag for me would be someone who's never been broken up with.
Oh, why?
I'm worried about them being a sociopath.
Because they're dumping everyone?
Yeah, there's just, you have to care about someone enough to be vulnerable enough to like, because everyone's annoying.
Yeah.
In a sense, right? Like, I don't care who you are. And if you haven't annoyed someone enough to break up with you, then you can't be yourself.
This is amazing.
So like
I'm writing this one down.
Heartbreak.
What?
So like someone who hasn't experienced heartbreak as opposed to just dumping somebody.
And again, yeah, maybe you don't have to have like this tragic heartbreak story, but if I'm like, have you ever been broken up with ever? And they're like, no. Then I'm concerned. Then you don't know who you are.
That is everyone listening. That's the piece. That's the takeaway today. That was so good.
I just made it up.
Probably, yeah.
No, but it's true. I mean, that's always been a red flag. I think the why I just kind of came up with.
Everyone is annoying, and you got to be your annoying self, or you're not being true to yourself, and you're just like a scary robot.
Finding love is being annoying to the right person who is still annoyed, but finds it a level of endearing that they can tolerate. That's love. Until you can find that, you haven't found yourself or you haven't found your person, and you're just like, you found someone who can tolerate you enough to have sex with. And if you're always breaking up with people, that means like someone else can be themselves, but you can't, and you're just distant enough that you keep them chasing.
And you're like cutting them out because there were, they did the wrong silly thing once, instead of like just accepting them for who they are and kind of working through it a little bit.
Yeah. So if you've never been dumped and you're listening,
go out there
and start being annoying.
Get therapy.
Don't date me because I'll never dump you.
What else is going on in your life?
What else is going on in my life? I'm starting a clothing line, a tie-dye based clothing line.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Can I get some?
Sure. Yeah. When it's ready, I will happily send you some. And my stand-up special is done. It's a weird time for me because it's a pandemic. So stand-up is like gone.
Yeah.
So that's why I've been like focusing on the tie-dye stuff, just because that is fun for me. It makes me happy, and I love sweatpants. And I'm on a show on Hulu called Dollface. So we're just kind of waiting to hear if that's going to shoot.
And you have a podcast.
Yeah, I have a podcast. Thank you. It's called Esther Club, and people say it's just like having a 30-minute FaceTime call with me. Like I'm just kind of talking to them. And then I host a beauty podcast called Glowing Up, which we talk about wellness stuff. You should come on and talk about your essential oils.
I would gladly. All right, Esther, before we let you go,
we'll
play a fun game called Do You Know Me?
Okay.
We're going to ask you some questions.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to guess the answers. So don't yell it out.
Okay.
Try not to give it away with your face as well.
Okay.
Just be like, don't like.
Whenever I play games groups, the person who has to have a paper bag over my head.
That's you.
Because I cheat with like my face.
Yeah, okay. Try not to. Also, but if you do, it's fine. And if once you do answer the question, if you want to explain your answer, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
Okay.
Do you know me with Esther Povitsky? Okay. Question number 1. I actually think I know the answer to this because I watched her special. Okay. Has Esther washed her sheets in the past week? I'm going to say no, because she described herself as filthy at times.
I'm going to say yes, because she's also very like, I live in a pandemic. So let's see.
Do I answer now?
Yes.
No, I have not. I don't want. I'm sorry. I carry hand sanitizer with me everywhere, and I did that before the pandemic. And my therapist threatened to throw my hand sanitizer away because she was like, "I think you have a problem." But no, I have not washed my sheets within the last week. I'm just, I don't know.
I haven't either.
A week, maybe once a month. I don't know.
I don't know. I do it every week. I'm like,
You do?
I'm like a crazy, like,
I feel like
overly clean.
I mean, I don't,
ridiculous
but
person.
I would agree that I think it's gross that I don't.
Okay, I'm fine with it. It's my bacteria. They're my bed bugs. They know me.
Again,
That upsets
totally
me-
fine.
That
No
upsets me
judgment.
just as much as like running on purpose.
Question number 2. Did Esther ever have to wear a uniform to work?
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, I mean, sure, at some point. Although she's a bit of a nonconformist, I feel like.
But I also feel like I would have loved to see her at like a Dairy Queen.
Here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say. Yes, technically she has.
She grew up in the
Whatever that
Midwest.
job was, it did not go well.
Well played.
You may answer.
Okay, I worked in carry out at Mangiano's where I wore a uniform. I worked at Johnny Rockets.
Ooh.
I worked at Hard Rock Cafe, and I didn't work at Dairy Queen, but I was in several Dairy Queen commercials where I wore the uniform and kept it because I was so excited to have the iconic look.
You were in some Dairy Queen commercials.
That's right.
That's a big win.
It is, especially for someone as big of a Dairy Queen fan as myself.
Midwest.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Oh my God, my
the
parents.
Blizzards as a kid.
Oreo
it was
Blizzard?
Truly,
It's magic
Nothing better.
it's the only reason you behaved as a child.
to get a Dairy Queen Blizzard.
Like, what else was I good for? Has Esther talked to one of their parents today? It's early. It's the morning.
Early. It's the morning. They're in the Midwest though, so they've been up a little bit.
I'm going to say no, but I want to say your dad called you randomly for no reason often.
I agree.
No, okay. You're right. I haven't talked to them today yet, but they don't call me randomly for no reason often. They don't.
Okay.
I have to call them.
Oh.
They're like, because they know if they call me at the wrong time, I'm like, what? Like I'm like in a bad mood. So they just let me come to them.
Oh.
And if they do call randomly, they'll be like, are you okay? You didn't call us the last 2 days. I'm like, I'm fine. So they don't, I call them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't talk to them every day.
Most days though.
Can Esther roll a joint?
100%. Yes, she could do it. Everyone's learned at some point.
I'm going to say no.
I've never smoked weed. I've never touched it. No, I can't.
You can know how to roll a joint without touching it.
So why? I mean, great. Is there a particular reason why you are been substance free your whole life?
I feel like there's like almost a million reasons that like I just was never interested in it, and I love cupcakes, so I'm like the way I love desserts, I'm gonna be too weird with these other things that I'll have less control over. So I'm just gonna play it safe and sit that one out.
For
Her addictive personality is reserved for brownies, people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I drank a little bit when in my 20s, and I didn't touch any other drug until my 30s. And that was because Dare worked for me big time.
Yeah, it did work for me too. I was scared.
No, I'll never forget. This is a true story. I'm not making it up. We had Dare, 5th grade. And they give you like charts of like what drugs do to you.
Yeah.
Did they bring you the fucked up cars and stuff?
They
too?
turn you green. And I just was like, and then in I'll never forget 8th grade, some of my friends dabbled in smoking marijuana. And I just remember actively being like, guys, did you not pay attention in Dare?
I love this.
It's going to turn you green. This is an actual thought I had. It just, Dare made so much sense to me. I'm just a kid being like, yeah, of course, I will never do this.
Yes.
Never.
Yes.
This is terrible.
Same. Yes. And I had a good older sister who was like, look, drugs can be laced with things you don't know what you're getting, and you could just suddenly die for no reason. I'm like, great.
Enough said.
Scared.
Yeah.
I was
Done.
too scared of my mother to get caught.
I think it was in line with like being Catholic and Catholic guilt and shame.
Same.
So it all kind of worked. And I don't do a lot of substance now, but that smoking marijuana was a real moment for me. Does Esther like pulp in their orange juice? I'm going to adjust this and say, does Esther mind pulp? Because no, I don't know if anyone likes pulp. I don't know if everyone's drinking orange juice and go, you know what this is missing? Pulp. But there's plenty of people, like myself, don't mind pulp at all. Does
pulp.
Esther loathe pulp is the question. Yeah, I don't think she likes pulp.
I don't think so either. I hope not.
I love pulp.
No. Do you really?
Because it shows me that the orange juice is fresh.
It's real.
Yeah. What is it? I don't want it from concentrate. I want it fresh, and I
just want to put through a strainer. That doesn't mean it's not fresh. It just went through a strainer.
No, I want my orange juice to be so pulpy. I feel like it's a meal.
No.
I want it to be half meal.
Like it makes me
This is the
like it's stuck in
purist in her. All right, 2 more. Does Esther crack her knuckles? I mean, she's cracked her knuckles, but she doesn't crack her knuckles.
Like, is it a habit?
Yeah, no. He hasn't done it since she's gotten here.
Yeah.
No. I was a hand model in 4th grade.
What?
Yeah.
In 4th grade.
American Girl doll catalog. Yeah, that's me. I know you knew me from somewhere. That's these babies.
So magnificently random.
The last question. Can Esther name all 4 Beatles? Technically, there were 5, I feel like, but can you name all 4? Yeah. First names only would suffice.
I'm going to say no.
Paul.
Yeah.
Ringo.
Yeah.
Tom?
What? Tom the Beetle.
No, John. And
This one's probably the hardest.
John 2?
George.
Okay.
So no.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
This is the
If
Beatles.
I
I feel like I could have pictured you being a big Beatles fan.
I like the music, but I just think someone who loves the Beatles, it's like, what's wrong with you? Like, what are you trying to prove?
One of my best friends is married to someone who obsessed with the Beatles. Plays the Beatles. She volunteers at a food kitchen every week and always plays the Beatles. But I think it's fine though. They did get engaged on stage in front of Paul McCartney.
She's like, that's
I just think when you're too obsessed with one thing, it's like, what are you hiding from?
yeah,
all of
there's
us?
something weird.
Yeah, but it's fine. Like that's how they're.
But everybody has their one weird thing.
Yeah, it's all. It's just coping.
What's your one weird thing?
I have a million weird. It's all weird. Everything is bad. Everything I do is shady and bad and weird.
I doubt that.
Wait, so you asked, I know you're wanting to get me out of here, but you did ask me a story off air, and I want to tell it to you quickly.
Yes.
So it's a dating story because I know this show's about dating. And I haven't done it in a very long time. But in high school, I went on one blind date in my life. Have you gone on a blind date?
Like, what do you mean by blind date?
What do I mean? You don't.
Because I've never been on a true blind date. I haven't been like, I'm going to set you up with someone and I just agree to show up not knowing anything about this person. I've never done that.
Okay. I did it. And this was back in the day in high school. So it wasn't like everyone had Instagram. You could kind of truly have a blind date. So basically one of my best girlfriends from who I did dance with outside of school, I had just gotten out of a relationship and I was looking to meet someone, and she had just got a new boyfriend from a different school. And in high school, like, all the guys from your school. So it's like, oh, now there's going to be like people from a different school. This is exciting. So I'm like, okay, great. So I go to it's a double date, me and them and his friend. And we're at California Pizza Kitchen. I see him. I'm not like, holy shit, he's so hot, but I'm like, he's cute, like he's tall, he's cute. And we have dinner and we're talking, we have a lot in common, and it's like, I don't know, there's like a vibe and it's good. And I'm like, this could be something, like maybe whatever. And at the end of the meal, he's like, wait, he gets kind of like weird. He's like, what did you say your last name was? And I'm like, oh, it's Povitsky. And he just looks at me, he's like, oh, we're cousins.
What?
I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm Jason. Like, yeah, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Because he says his full name. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I remember your grandma's funeral. Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
In high school.
Yeah, I'm like, we are. That's how disconnected my dad's side of the family is that I went on a full date with my cousin and would have not known it.
First cousin?
No, I have no first cousins on that side. So second, I would say, or something like that. Second.
I feel like that's an important thing to not having really scar you.
True. That said, I have first cousins who I'm super attracted to, but that's
we dive into that.
That just took a turn.
I was when I was little. I should have said I was attracted to them. I'm not anymore. I don't think, yeah. I'm from the Midwest, cousins, whatever, but I did not want to date my cousin. So I was like, okay.
That's a great title. Attracted to her cousins.
No.
Have you ever gone on a date with your cousin?
No. I have a hot cousin in the sense that she was older.
Yeah.
And she was a model, and all my friends thought she was super hot, and I just didn't get it.
Interesting. So your brain works right.
It worked properly.
So your brain works right.
I
Congratulations.
was like,
Good
really?
for you.
Her? I guess. I don't know. But yeah.
That's weird.
Esther, this has been a ton of fun.
I know.
Thanks so much for coming.
I
Where
know.
can people find you?
I have a solo podcast called Esther Club, and that's on YouTube and everywhere else. And then if you're into beauty, I have Glowing Up, which is also a podcast, and my 1 hour stand-up special. It's called Hot for My Name, and it's free on cc.com through Comedy Central.
It's very good.
Thank you.
I watched it.
It's really good.
Enjoyed it.
It's produced by Adam Sandler and Comedy Central. And then I'm on Dollface on Hulu with Shay Mitchell, Kat Dennings, and Brenda Song.
You're killing it. When how much time do we have before you're too famous and too successful to be friends with me? Nothing is going to change me. That's been established. I drive a 2001 Toyota Camry. I saw that you followed me on Instagram, so you must have seen that yesterday I ate Taco Bell in my car. Nothing. I'm good. You're good. You're safe. Because I feel like this could be a nice friendship.
Yeah.
No, I know.
And you and her husband have so
like,
much in common.
Like you're
with the talk hating.
I feel like I'm catching you right when things are about to pop here.
You're
It's just
so
like
kind. And I'm catching you on the way on the way to essential oil success, which is arguably
That's like she's gonna stay friends with you just so she can have oil for life.
I would love for you to come do an episode of Esther Club. I think that would be really fun.
Me, you, and your fiance?
He's not on it anymore. I kicked him off.
Great.
Just us. All right.
Esther, it's been a ton of fun. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening, guys. As always, you want to come back for one of our Ask Nick episodes and we'll give people relationship advice? I feel like you could be quite good
I
at
would
that.
love to. Let's do it.
Great. Don't forget to send your questions at asknick@castme.com, cast with a K. Subscribe, 5 stars, all that fun stuff. And we will see you on Monday.